It is not only the corpses of men that rest uneasily in Sylvania. The dark magic coursing through that land twists and perverts the bodies of forest animals, turning them into dark reflections of their living counterparts. The most common amongst these undead beasts are the dreaded direwolves, rotting parodies of the great wolves of the Eastern Empire. Their putrid flesh hangs loosely from their withered frames, and the stench of decay is strong on their breath. While they are fearsome enough in their own right, these wolves will naturally assemble into large groups like their living kin to bring down larger foes. Rather than pursuing deer and elk, however, these packs of direwolves hunt the most dangerous game: humans. In a sufficiently large group, these rotten wolves might overwhelm an isolated cabin or a small traveling band. As bad as this might be, the threat posed by a pack of direwolves increases exponentially when a malign intellect guides their actions. Vampires are naturally inclined to gather these creatures of the night, but necromancers are also capable of binding direwolves to their will. Under such leadership, direwolves become a true terror, capable of running down enemy cavalry, war machine crews, and lightly armored skirmishers. One of these controlled packs of direwolves is the ravenous horde known only as the Direpack. Having haunted the hills surrounding Conigstein Tower for an unknown period of time as an autonomous pack, the Direpack was bound to the will of Manfred von Karstein and Halman Gorst in the year 2522 of the imperial calendar to oppose Volkmar the Grim's crusade into Sylvania. The wolves saw battle before Volkmar's forces even arrived in the province. They participated in the destruction of the small imperial garrison Albrecht von Korden stationed within Conigstein Tower to observe the region in his absence, turning it into a necromantic stronghold. Later, at the Battle of Conigstein Tower, they ambushed von Korden's faithful few alongside the rest of Gorst's forces. The element of surprise was on their side, letting the wolves get close to the hapless humans before unleashing a devastating charge. Despite this advantage, the brave swordsmen and knights of the Blazing Sun drove the Direpack back with steel and martial prowess. Outmatched by their enemies' superior discipline, the wolves were forced to flee alongside their necromantic master. The Direpack later saw action at the Battle of Swartzhafen, following the mental commands of Manfred von Karstein. Once again, they ambushed the Imperial forces, attacking their unprotected flanks. The wolves' ravenous jaws cut a bloody toll through the Empire line, and it seemed likely that the humans would be cut down to the last if Manfred von Karstein had not fled the field to protect his secret weapon in Vargaravia. As it was, the wolves once again fled with their master, letting the soldiers of the Empire live to fight another day. The last recorded instance of Direpack activity was at the Battle of Castle Sterniht. There they acted as reserve troops for Manfred von Karstein, held back from the thick of the fighting until the mortals had wasted their energy cutting down hordes of zombies and skeletons. Only then were they allowed to run free. Once more they ravaged the Empire line, consuming gigantic clumps of human flesh as they fought. It was only by the mystical intervention of the gold wizard Balthazar Gelt and the golden wall of magically empowered holy symbols he erected around Sylvania that the undead forces were defeated. The Direpack were blown to pieces by the divine energy released in the ritual, their forms dissolving into clouds of black fog. They were never mentioned again, so it seems fair to assume that Manfred did not see them as critical enough to reanimate following their destruction. There are always other undead wolves to draw upon in Sylvania, after all. In Total War Warhammer, the Direpack are the Regiment of Renown direwolf unit on the Vampire Counts roster. They cost 650 gold in multiplayer, 80 gold less than a normal rank 9 direwolf unit. The only difference between them and the standard rank 9 direwolf is that the Direpack possesses a bonus versus large of 14. This presumably represents their actions against the Knights of the Blazing Sun and Drakwold Riders in their campaign against Volkmar's crusade. Besides that, they are completely unexceptional when compared to a similarly experienced direwolf unit. They function well in the roles one would expect a direwolf to excel in, such as harassing lightly armored missile units, skirmish units, and artillery crews. The bonus versus large makes them exceptionally good at hunting down skirmish cavalry, such as pistoliers and goblin wolf riders. At the end of the day, though, they still cost more than a direwolf unit without experience and don't bring anything truly exceptional to the table, although that bonus versus large does double their damage output against large skirmish cav, so it does have a role there. Unless you're expecting a lot of large, lightly armored targets in your opponent's force, though, you can probably afford to leave them behind in favor of an extra normal unit of direwolves. That brings us to the end of our overview of the horrors known as the Direpack, in continuation of our Spooktoberfest tradition. Thank you for watching the video to this point. We're almost done with the month, so for those of you hoping to see a video about a Regiment of Renown that still has a pulse, you just have to wait a little bit longer. As a reminder, this week, and for the foreseeable future, I'll only be releasing 2 lore videos until I can settle into my new job. Until next time, this has been Sigmar's Chosen, signing off for now.